Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special episode with the founders of the Marvaco Morocco Passover program. Just kidding. We are here at the Moral Edge Studios in one of the most favored and obsessed countries in the world that most people cannot point to on a map. We are in the Holy Land of Israel. This is Schmooze Control with your producer, Zorba Grashin. I have been running behind the scenes with this amazing talent I have at the table, and we're going to find a little bit about Moral Edge, how all these characters got to Israel, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the holiday of Yom HaZikaron coming up this week. So welcome. I'm going to start from my left. And we're going to go around the table first. We're going to introduce ourselves, where we're from, how long we've been living in Israel, and then we'll get into the actual story. So go ahead.
All right, cheers. I'm Jen Early. I am originally from New York, but grew up in Florida. Now live in Ramat Beit Shemesh for almost 20 years.
Amazing.
Wow, Israel looks good on you.
You wear it well.
I'm Hanala. I am here almost 10 years now from Miami Beach, Florida. The only thing similar to Israel and Miami is the sun. Otherwise, it's a whole new world.
Oh, we got palm trees.
Oh, we have palm trees. It's a different type of heat, different type of vibe. But yeah, great to be here and looking forward to having this conversation with y'all.
I will introduce myself per the boss's orders. I'm Zorba. I am an Alaskan Jew. I was born there. My mom was the first Jew born in the state of Alaska. I grew up in Seattle. I moved to Israel from Los Angeles a little over a year and a half ago, and I got married just before this last war started.
Wow, hard to tap Alaska. I'm just a Jew from the five towns, New Yorker.
What's your name?
Michael Gerbitz. Thank you. I got that piece. We are here 18 years. We moved with 9 children 18 years ago, and thank God some of them are married, many grandchildren, loving the land of Israel, and made the best choice in the world.
Love that. I'm Avi Proctor. I have been in Israel for about 5 years now, living in Beit Shemesh for about 2, and not as long as many of you guys, but thank God. Best place in the world.
Amazing. So people come in pretty much from all the same part of America, except for yours truly, but for very different reasons, at very different stages in our lives. So what I'm personally curious about is, what was the moment, or were there moments that sort of were the catalyst for you to move to Israel? We'll go the other way this time.
First of all, phenomenal question. Catalyst for me.
Yeah.
I came to take a gap year in Israel, and the plan was always to come to Israel.
So explain what a gap year is, because we may have some people who don't know all the lingo.
Gotcha. No, so a gap year, basically, you go to high school in America, and then generally before you go to university, you take a year, sometimes maybe 2, to study abroad, kind of get in touch with yourself, your soul, spirituality, and everything. I came to study in Israel. I had no intention of staying here. It was like, you would have asked me like, oh, would you ever live in Israel? Like, absolutely not. I thought I would live in California, live in America the rest of my life. And I came for that, year, and 1 year turned to 2. And then at the end of my second year, I had to make a decision. Do I go back to college in America? And I was like, no, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to figure it out. So I called my dad and I'm like, Dad, I don't know how this is going to look. I don't know how this is going to work out, but I'm going to figure it out some way. So for me, that was the turning point. In my second year in Israel, studying abroad, I just got so in touch with the land, so in touch with the place here, and then I decided to stay.
So basically from high school, you stayed.
Yep, exactly.
And what was the specific thing about being here that kept you?
I know this sounds so cliche, and so many people say this, but you just feel it here. When you're here, I got off the plane. I'll never forget this. I got off the plane after my second year in studying in Israel. My dad picks me up from the airport. He's like, welcome home. And I don't know what possessed me to say this. I look at him with the most serious face. I'm like, I'm not home. I'm like, I'm not. He's like, whoa. He's like, chill. And I'm like, no, like actually, it was the first time I felt it. You get off the plane after being immersed in this world of Israel and spirituality for so long, and then it's like, now you know where you're.
It's the most depressing thing. Right? Landing in New York, driving through Jamaica, Queens, and I was like, what am I doing here?
It feels like going from Shabbos to Chol, like from Shabbat to the weekday. Right. You have this like...
Now, admittedly, since I spent so much of my life in New York and we have so many friends there and a lot there, we do get back used to it, unfortunately. But it's that culture shock. It's like, why did I do this? Did I really have to come?
Okay,
My wife's going to kill me if she sees it.
So what were your moments when you were back there that led you? Were you someone who always was going to live here?
I always wanted to. Literally, when I was, I guess, a teenager, I made trips to Israel and different programs. Grew up in a modern Orthodox school, which was Zionistic. So we waved the flag on Yom HaZikaron, and we went to the parade in New York City, and all that, blue and white cupcakes, the whole thing. So I always had a feel for it. I remember always when I started working. My low 20s, I was always getting the New York Times. I was always only just caring about what happens in Israel. Of course, the New York Times, then remember we all banned it and we all gave up a subscription. But I was always kind of obsessed with what's going on in Israel, Israeli politics. I studied that in college somewhat. And I just knew that someday we'd have to live here. But I had no idea it would take 17 years of marriage and 9 children later to make that switch. So am I shocked that we're here? No, the rest of my family was. I mean, it was a vote of 1 against 10. Guess who won? But thank God they're all
A+ for democracy.
Well, yeah, I don't believe in democracy. We'll talk about that another time. About whether Israel should be a democracy, that's a different question. But in our family, it definitely was not a democracy. But they're all happy, and I promised them a few things. I'm still trying to fulfill the promises year by year. And thank God it was amazing. So I don't, actually, I wouldn't say one particular thing happened. It was just like, I was just like, been here, done that. Like, I need to move on. This was not fulfilling. We went on a trial year. Like, you can't move with 9 kids and just, sell everything. We didn't sell the house. We rented, we tried it. It was amazing. We tried it for a second year. We're now almost trying it for our 19th year. So I don't think we're going anywhere. But that's my story.
All right. So my story for me, I lived here actually in first grade with my family. We had moved from Alaska to Seattle. My dad's dream was for us to always come, at least for some period of time. He took a sabbatical from being a lawyer, and it made a huge impression on me. It's hard to explain because I was 6 and 7 years old, but I knew I'd always be back. Any opportunity I had to come back, I did. The last few years before I moved here, I was here every year. Every time I got back on the plane, it was just worse and worse and worse feeling. And then what I would always, similar to what you were saying, Avi, is here I feel like I'm a part of something. In America, growing up, I think there was more American unity and pride that you just felt, even in Seattle, you just felt your community. You felt American and Jewish and all these things. That just kept dissipating and dissipating. And then finally, what I would always tell people, especially for people who aren't Jewish or never been here, I was like, the way I feel, especially after October 7th, was if something in LA bad happened to me on the street, people would film it. And if something here bad happened on the street, people would try and help me. And
at any cost.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I remember when I first moved here was unfortunately they had that shooting in Yaffo where it was the same night as the first Iran ballistic missile attack. And the guy who stopped the shooter was a guy in flip-flops and a ponytail who was, Israel's liaison to Burning Man. And I play volleyball with his friend, and you'd see this guy in America, you think this guy got nothing. And here, they're there really to help people. And even when they're sometimes aggressive, which we'll talk about in a bit, it is a special
They'll help
place.
you, then they'll yell at you for doing
Exactly. Yeah.
Why are you there anyway?
Yeah. Hanaleh.
That would be me.
What were your moments? What were your Hanaleh
All right.
catalysts?
So I grew up, never thought about moving to Israel, came here for seminary for a year. Definitely did not think about moving here afterwards. I had a great year, but Israel's, it's intense. The catalyst, I would say, was 2016 when Trump and Hillary were running for president the first time. And I remember thinking, if Hillary wins, I'm leaving this country. I'm moving to Israel. I was one of those, And then when Trump won, I was like, I think I'm going to get out of here anyways. After the whole election unplayed, and I started seeing the changes, even in South Florida, I just knew that ultimately no one really wanted me there. I would stand in line in Publix, and the person in front of me was a Trump supporter who lived in a trailer that was not a fan of the Jews, and the person behind me was wearing a hijab, not a fan of the Jews. And I just felt like I just wasn't sure if I wanted to raise my kids there anymore. Florida's beautiful. The weather's great. We had everything we needed, Costco card, pool, garage, the whole thing. And I was like, you know what would make life so much more interesting now? If I would move to Israel, where I have no family, no job, don't speak the language, and have no experience raising kids. But I'm always up for an adventure. And it's been the best move of my life. My kids love it here. They thank me all the time, no regrets. I've transitioned personally in my life. Always a woman, I'm just saying in general. I've transitioned in different things in my life. This is the internet, you have to be really clear. And I've experienced Israel in all different ways, you know, raising little kids, and now I'm divorced, being single. And then my whole life here is just inspiring on every level. Everything I do is related to Israel and activism, and I'm obsessed. I'm married to this country. Obsessed. Beat that.
No competition.
Oh,
except
come
myself.
on, Jen.
Except myself. Why? So my parents actually really brought us to Israel almost every summer growing up. Like that's just what we did in the summers. We came to Israel. I didn't go camp. For the most part. And then slowly but surely, all my family and my aunt and uncle made Aliyah. My grandparents moved to Israel. My grandparents, like my grandfather's a survivor, he came to Israel, built a house here with his own 2 hands. And this is, so all I know is coming to Israel in the summers. And then my year in Israel, also, I finishing my first year, and I said to my mom, I want to go to the army. And then she's like, I don't know. And then I researched about paratroopers, that they won't let the women jump out of airplanes. And I was like, then I'll just stay on a bit. Like, I'll just come back for a second year of learning if I can't do that. And but I was like the one in SEM that, like, I would leave in the middle of the night to go on a hike to be back in time for morning, so that then I can do classes. Like, you go on the hikes in the middle of the night when they wouldn't let you out. Like, sorry, this is public, but it's okay.
Oh, we've all been there. We've all been there.
The principal is actually very proud of me now, so it's okay. I got my pass. No, and I just was obsessed with, like, every hike, I don't know, I just loved hiking the land, like, really the connection to the land itself. In Eretz Yisrael is nothing like our land. And that was it. I met my husband actually in Israel. I was in Israel for a summer. He was in yeshiva, and he knew that we would live in Israel. And then that was the discussion. We got engaged after a few weeks. And Rob, when are we moving to Israel? Yeah, we're going to move to Israel. And then we got married. And when are we moving to Israel? Like, I mean, when we retire, right? I'm like, no. But he needed to come around, and I wasn't going to force it. Like, he needed to find his place. He came on a mission to Israel, and a few years into our marriage, and just came back saying, okay, I have a 5-year plan. 6 years of marriage outside of Israel, and that was it.
All right. Now I've got a question. I believe my wife asked me this when we were just meeting. Anyone can start. What is the most American and the most Israeli part about you? Now that you've been here, anyone can start. It's a complex question.
I'm impatient. I like to interrupt.
Okay, that works for both. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very patriotic. I was a patriotic American, and I felt strongly about, I still do. I grew up Chabad, and we were taught that America has Torah values. It says, in God we trust on the dollar, and that the success of the country, it affects us on a personal level as Jews, and of course our relationship with Israel as an ally, and so on. So I wanted to say this actually before, when you're asking me what actually inspired me to move here. I grew up Chabad. Chabad is, some of you might know, a little bit in your face. And I always was taught that Israel is the safest place in the world, that the Chayalim are the holiest things in the world, and that giving away any part of this land, any inch, is counterproductive and dangerous. So those were the founding principles of my youth. And to make a change. As a Chabad woman, we were told that you can make a difference, you can have a voice, you can change the world, you can have influence. And that's what I used my platform for. And when I transitioned from music into podcasting, Israel became my muse. So yeah, I use my voice, and Israelis, if you've lived here, can be a little vocal and opinionated and in your face. So I don't know.
Did you
Vibes
become
works for
Israeli?
me. Have I become Israeli?
No, like, are you like an Israeli?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll get into a fist fight with a cashier over a bag of rolls. You bet.
Okay, I'll stay away from that. Who's next?
I'll try to.
Okay, go.
No, I mean, obviously, this is probably the most specific one. My wife, she'll agree with this. My driving is for sure the most Israeli thing about me.
Why is it Israeli, not New Yorker?
Yeah, New York, I was going to say it's the same thing.
So people say, oh, isn't it hard to drive in New York City? In my opinion, the traffic circles in Israel,
Okay, fair.
that's it.
It also depends. If you're going up on curbs to get around cars, or that's Israeli. New York.
No. What about parking in parking lots, and then you just park in the middle because cars can go around you.
There's really no parking rules. Are there actually parking rules here?
I think the police have
You don't
bigger-
say.
The police
You
have
could
bigger
get-
issues.
Yes.
I've gotten my car towed once.
There you go.
Okay.
So that's the most Israeli.
What's the most American?
The most American thing, I think, which is, in my opinion, the best thing about America is customer service, which is my call it business here. I'm like a basketball trainer. That's like my main thing. So my biggest thing for parents is like communication and being there for your kids and customer service and talking all. And like, there's just something. I just went to a store to get my glasses repaired. The customer service there was this nice, like English speaking guy. And like, there's something about like, what they do in America when they pick up the phone, like, hey, how's your day? Versus like in Israel, it's like, what do you want? Like that's my most American piece.
Yeah, customer service here is like a nice place in New York City. You see it, you're like, wow, New York is so amazing. And you're like, yeah, but then you walk outside and everything is, yeah, you really appreciate it.
It's fickle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm about 99% American, 1% Israeli. There's nothing Israeli about me, except that I live in Israel. We live in a little cocoon over here in Ramat Beit Shemesh, for any of you who are not familiar. And life is very comfortable here. It doesn't feel, inside this little cocoon, it doesn't feel that different from Israel. In fact, sometimes...
From America.
Did I say Israel?
Yeah.
From America.
Yeah, it's not that different from Israel.
Sometimes when I go down to the Merkaz, the main shopping area with all these Israeli merchants and all these, I'm the Hebrew, I'm like, wow, I actually moved to Israel. I could go weeks without even realizing that I actually live in Israel. In terms of that cultural type of stuff, but obviously in terms of the holiness, you feel it. You just the davening when you pray, when you study, just being here, looking at the mountains, just every day, just looking around, going to work in my 1-minute commute, which is another amazing thing. You have to take the Long Island Railroad, it take you an hour on the train, 20 minutes on the subway. Here it takes me like a minute and a half. Of course, I still drive because I'm from Long Island. I could walk in 5 minutes. But, you can't take America out of me, but that's okay because I don't think there's a mitzvah to become an Israeli culturally. There's a mitzvah to live in Israel and love the land of Israel and do everything that Jews are supposed to do here. But culturally, I'm still very, very comfortable. Not only myself, my children, as all my 9 kids were all born in America, and they are still extremely American here. And not only that, I'm blessed with many grandchildren, and the next generation are still also very American. Yes, their Hebrew is each generation, the Hebrew gets a little better, never perfect. But we've been able to really live an American style life, which I love. I love America. I love the lifestyle there. But you can have that here, and we love it. But I wouldn't live in any other place other than Israel. But I'm not going to become culturally Israeli. It's just not going to happen. And I'm thrilled. I'm happy.
That's it. You don't wear a suit every day.
I do not.
You dress casually like an Israeli.
Generally.
Okay.
Yeah.
If that.
I wanted to look good for the show. Maybe for the next show I'll...
Spiffy New Yorker.
Okay.
The truth is, I thank you for saying that because I was trying to think, like, what part of me is Anglo? And I was like,
Besides the
because I'm
English.
sporty, because I run. Like, no, Israelis do that. Like, I forgot already. Like, I don't know. And I have kids. Like, some of my kids they married Anglos. They're Anglo Tarbut culture. And then I have, some of my kids who would not speak English all day unless they called me. I have some of my kids who, they're more Israeli than Israelis. Like, they're completely immersed in Israeli society. So, but then when you said about the house, I was like, oh yeah, see, some of my Israeli kids are embarrassed to bring their Israeli friends to my house because we live in Ramat Beit Shemesh and it's a house, not a 2-bedroom apartment for 8 people or something.
Right.
I mean, it's, and they're actually embarrassed about that.
Wow.
Binyamin didn't want to bring people to the house. It was
Really?
like too nice, even though I don't consider my house so extravagant, but for him. You know,
Wow,
like why not live on a mountaintop? So I think that is. I guess I am still Anglo. That I have. I don't know. Although Israelis would also have.
You have a chandelier. You have a chandelier and moldings.
I don't have okay, moldings. But I'm saying I have Israeli cousins who also have nice homes. So I don't really know what it means.
But it matters a lot where your kids go to school. Like in this neighborhood, we moved here 18 years ago. There were Anglo-type schools, and now there's more and more. And my kids really grew up. All of their friends were Anglos. You know, we needed a very soft landing here. We moved, 11 people out of it. We were established for a very long time in a community, with friends, with everything. You know, we really uprooted our entire life and came here. All the kids were miserable. Like, why are we moving here? I don't have any friends. In the beginning, it got, of course, a lot better. But their circle of friends was very, very Anglo. So they were always speaking English to their friends, and they never really had a chance to become real Israelis. And I don't regret that. Some people would say, well, what are you talking about? You're moving to Israel, you have to become Israeli. So I don't agree with that. I think that people should be comfortable in the best way they're comfortable. And they're living in Israel is the goal, not necessarily integrating 100% into Israeli society. I think we've proven in this community that you don't really have to do that. In a way, we're building our own society, and that's okay. You see that in other countries, Chinatown here, whatever. People that are culturally similar are living together in another country. As long as you're able to communicate to some extent and get along with people outside, but you really could stay culturally American here. And I think if that's what it takes to bring people here, like if there wasn't this little cocoon, we would not have been able to make it. I don't think even if we moved to Jerusalem, we would have been able to make it. We needed these really soft schools and shuls, synagogues where everybody's talking English, and it really wasn't very different from where we lived. Definitely not as fancy.
That's the thing, right?
Less
there is a simplicity.
Yeah, yes.
That's
much more. That's one of the things that attracted me also. I'm like, with 9 kids, I got to make these weddings, like each wedding, like, $500,000. Now, it's crazy. I'm saying, like, I'm not doing that. It's ridiculous.
Did you say $500,000?
So, anyway,
this is a crazy thing. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I was just saying, I came back from America this morning. The conversations yesterday, I kind of hope they'll see this, and I kind of hope they won't ever. But the conversations that were going on there were, but the Amazon deliveries, the piles at the door, and then they have to carry it up myself because they left it at somebody else's house. I'm like, oh yeah, see, we don't have that problem.
Like American go
and they're
problems.
like, well, what do you do if you don't? I'm like, what?
Right.
I just go to the store.
Right.
She's like, what do you mean you go to? I'm like, why do you
You know,
not
it's funny-
understand
it's
me? Like,
I love Amazon. I have to tell. What do I? Did you ask? You didn't ask me what I like best about America, but I'm going to answer that anyway. I love Amazon. When I go to America for 2 weeks, every day I'm getting more deliveries. This was ordered. When it's coming, it's like amazing.
Yeah,
you
but
don't
it's
have
your
to go anywhere.
perspective. Like,
Well, I love Amazon.
And then you realize that everything you bought afterwards, you don't actually
You don't
need.
actually
of course,
need.
of
Correct.
course.
I always tell people you can get everything you need in Israel. Not everything you want, but everything you need.
I get everything I need in Israel when we go for 1 week, order on Amazon. We bring 2 extra suitcases. We get everything we need in Israel. We don't miss it.
Listen, we were sitting with my kid Shabbat, and my daughter said, "Wouldn't it be great if there was an Amazon location where you can just order your thing, go in and pick it up?" And then she was like, "A store. I invented a store." I mean, it's a different mentality here. People shop, and when you shop and you don't have storage and closets and deliveries, you end up having less. It's a less materialistic life, and I think a lot of people do appreciate that.
I love the
I'm not saying
simplicity.
Amazon can't be amazing, but then you throw in the postal service, the combination of the postal service and Amazon. I can't even imagine the complications that would involve. But you just change your
Everyone has
your
to make
lifestyle.
it work. Whatever works for you. The main thing is just come here. Just come here,
Yeah,
and
and there's
you'll find the
Temu
system
and
that works.
AliExpress.
All right, so in the theme of America and Israel, we have Yom HaZikaron coming up, which for those of you who don't know, Yom HaZikaron is Israeli Independence Day. So I'm not sure exactly what the question is here, but kind of comparing July 4th to Yom HaZikaron.
We didn't celebrate July 4th at all.
Maybe can we start with recognizing Yom HaZikaron and Veterans
Yes,
Day?
yeah.
Because I think that sets the tone for July 4th.
Right,
and
so
Yom
I was
HaZikaron.
I think that's part of the answer is like, we don't just go into Yom, we don't,
Oh, we have Memorial Day.
yeah, our July
Memorial Day.
3rd here
Right.
is our
Most
Remembrance
somber day, yeah.
So Jen, this is a perfect segue.
I don't even know where to begin. I guess I can begin by my dog tag. This is not the one you buy in the store. This is the real deal. My son was killed fighting in this war, fighting for our country, for our people, for our land, fighting in Gaza. 6 weeks into the Gaza war, whatever they're calling it now, Milchemet HaTkuma. I don't even know what it's called in English, but
October 7th.
So yeah, we earned our Israeli identification card. We've had our blood spilled in this land, and at the end of the day, not only could I not be prouder and not be more honored, I can't feel even, I'm just even more connected to the land. I feel even more obsessed with it, as you said.
Wow. I think there are people listening who just don't understand that. Can you explain, like, how does such a sacrifice not make you resent the cost that is required to live here?
Well, when I think about what Binyamin, why was he fighting? He wasn't fighting so that we should run away. He wasn't fighting so that we should even be sad. He wasn't fighting so we should stay in bed and not enjoy the country. He fought so we can live here. He fought so we could enjoy here and thrive here and grow here and develop here. So this is what he would want, and this is what he did. And this is what I think any soldier that is buried on Mount Herzl gave their life so that we live, so that we enjoy and develop and thrive in this country.
There's certainly a deeper appreciation, I think, after October 7th amongst our young people, because it became it became our reality that this is the cost. And that, and it was so close. It has been. It's so close to home. I mean, they planted a tree for Binyamin in the park where he was, you guys grew up, and he was playing where my kids play. And it's a constant reminder. It's not something we become desensitized to. It's just.
So Jen, can you connect? Because I think some of the people who are watching probably don't realize the way it's set up, that we have our Independence Day after our Day of Remembrance. So how does that feel for you? And then we'll talk a little bit, about just general Yom HaTzmaut, because I remember my first time experiencing it. It was in first grade. And it was like crazy, compared to what it was like
Which
for
one?
July 4th. Yom HaTzmaut. Yeah. So we talk about the contrast of how we go from we
go from like the Memorial Day to the party, right? We like have to turn on the light switch. Like we go from like bawling our eyes out because of so many who have given their lives for our country, and then like, woohoo, now time to party. Like, how does that happen? So there is a process, and we actually have a ceremony that really leads us into that, a very beautiful and meaningful ceremony. And, but personally, it's everything that Memorial Day is that lets us have Independence Day. When you realize if without them, we wouldn't be celebrating that. And it's because of them that we can celebrate. Celebrating on Independence Day is like so important to me. Last year when we had the fires in the country and all the festivities were canceled, I was devastated that we didn't have the party because I needed that. That's what he fought for. That's what we're all about. So we have to, and you can't just have the party. You can't have Independence Day without realizing the cost that went into it, because so much blood has been spilled so that we can have our land. So you can't appreciate what we have without recognizing who did that. And that's the Memorial Day that leads into the Independence Day.
Yeah, and everyone participates. The kids, they have programs in school. You watch TV for 24 hours. You hear the stories of our soldiers since the beginning of.
It's a lot of national pride. It's pride.
Yeah. By the time
honored with.
By the time the night falls, you want to scream it from the rooftops. I'm proud to be an Israeli. So you grab a beer and your barbecue and you do that.
The contrast with Memorial Day in America, Memorial Day is like the beginning of the summer. The beaches are open.
It's shopping.
It's a day off. It's a day off.
Right.
The bank is closed. My dad's complaining. That's all Memorial Day is.
I mean, I'm sure.
No disrespect to American soldiers, of course.
No, but most
they
Americans
deserve
are
the honor.
Sure,
that's the whole thing.
but not everyone's connected to it on a personal level. Most people can't relate to the.
You can't compare a small country of Jews where everybody's a brother, everybody's a cousin, to a massive country with 350 million people.
But you
of
know
all
what,
different
Michael? Even
types.
before we made Aliyah, or even after we made Aliyah, when my kids were little, I would spend the day still crying.
Really?
It wasn't, yeah, oh my gosh. This
Always.
was a day for me, and that's why I felt guilty. After we made Aliyah, I would feel guilty, like, well, those people gave their lives, and I just get to fly here on the wings of eagles and plop down and but is that fair? Well, now it's fair, but that's how I felt. Oh yeah, no. It was always a very, very serious day for me.
Wow.
And I don't think I'm the only one. No, you're looking at me.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Listen, we're all so interconnected here. I mean, everything overlaps.
I mean, I grew up, I said modern Orthodox. Yom HaZikaron was a big day, but Yom HaZikaron was not a particularly big day. I did not grow up with that. I'm not even sure I knew about it.
Neither did I.
We didn't celebrate Yom HaZikaron either specifically.
Oh,
Or
not
July
even Yom
4th.
HaZikaron.
No,
Oh, I'm talking about,
no,
I'm talking about
because
Yom HaZikaron. But
Yom
you said-
HaZikaron, I don't know if we, I'm not sure. Listen, it's like when people say, do you celebrate Mother's Day? And the answer is Mother's Day is every day. So as being part of the Chabad community, we emphasize these things throughout the year. We had a really thorough religious education. So it wasn't like we didn't constantly talk about the Holocaust and the cost and Mashiach and moving to Eretz Yisrael. That was the entire focus. But because there were political issues, or let's say, all that was kind of charged. Yom HaTzmaut, the Israeli flag, and
It's very political. We don't want to go there today.
No, I mean,
it is.
Yeah, I'm saying the Lubavitch Rebbe had an issue with Hatikva because it doesn't mention God explicitly. So we didn't sing Hatikva.
Interesting.
So that it was kind of a gray area. Now I don't say, is it Hallel?
Hallel.
Right. I don't say Hallel because it didn't grow up that's my minhag, but biggest flag on my porch. I mean, like.
Yeah, there's a lot of
glowing
shtick
headbands, the whole
that
thing.
goes along with this. We don't really want to get into that too much.
Okay.
But there shouldn't be one soul living in this whole country that should not appreciate the fact that we can live freely as Jews in the land of Israel. And for that, it's only because of the state of Israel, with an army, with protection, and of course protection from above, obviously, but protection from below also. And we have to recognize that. And I think it's the minimum we can do is at least just pause for a moment and just say thank you. Thank you to Hashem, but not only Hashem. Thank you to the soldiers, and thank you to everyone who's moved to Israel. Thank you to everyone who's made this country what it is, so that we can all live here and peacefully and live out the dream the way Hashem wants us to. So,
one thing I think is also cool for people that have never been to Israel or have never seen the videos is that on the day of remembrance tonight, there's like a 2-minute siren when the entire country stops, and then the following morning the same thing happens. And like, I can't imagine what that would look like in America. If there was a siren on Memorial Day to try to get every person to stop in their tracks to do whatever they're doing, to have everyone get out of their car on the highway, I don't know if that would happen, but I think there's something here that even on Holocaust Remembrance Day, what we had a week ago, people recognize that they're part of something bigger than themselves, and I think that's a very important
I
point.
actually
that
ran
people
into the
feel.
shelter at first.
Really?
Yeah. I ran into the shelter.
Yeah.
Wow.
I did.
One of my
It's,
stand-up jokes is Israelis love sirens so much, they have them on days that they're not at war to remind them that they were at war.
It's a different kind of siren, but it's the same
Yeah,
volume.
no, I know. It's just a little different frequency. Okay, well, I think we're now kind of getting to that point where here we are in the Moral Edge Studios. We are sending this out as kind of our flagship welcome to the people. So why don't we go down the line and tell us, what got you into talking to people and what your show is all about, what they could look forward to. If you've already recorded a few, which everyone kind of has, you could talk about that, but also what's coming down the pipe.
I'll start.
All right.
All right. Your in-house interrupter. So
Hey, consistency. That's what we like. We like consistency.
So I've brought my weekly squeeze show here. I've been interviewing and talking to interesting people all around the world. I think I had you on my podcast at some point. You're certainly interesting, inspiring person. And I am thrilled to open conversations with a lot of fascinating, inspiring Anglo-Israelis. I have all kinds of people on my show. Everyone's invited on my show, by the way. You could reach out. Everyone except Candace Owens. No anti-Semites. But otherwise, I'm learning a lot about even myself and how much I've grown in my spirituality, my journey here over the years, how much Israel has changed me, how my opinions have formulated. I love putting my opinions out there on the internet, so feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments. We're going to be doing a lot of interactive stuff so you guys can be part of the conversation. But yeah, I'm just here to charm you with my dazzling personality and really bring the message of moral edge across. And that's just what's happening now. If we look back in 50 years, this will be a time capsule, 2026, 2027, where we were at as Jewish Anglos following October 7th, the Iran war, and just the amazing growth on all levels that we see here in Israel, especially during hard times. You know, as soon as things get rough here, Israelis just shine. So in the last 2 years, there's been so many amazing people doing creative, just big things, and that's what we're going to bring you. It's going to be good.
What does the moral edge mean?
Well, the moral edge, see, I think it's a very interesting, ambiguous kind of phrase that leaves...
Deliberately.
The moral edge is the advantage we have morally as Jews.
Why do we have an advantage?
Because we have the Torah.
Okay.
We have the Torah.
I'm not arguing, just one.
No, because we have the advantage because we don't take things at face.
Did you pass? I just
No, we don't take things at face value as Jews. We have an intrinsic connection to the land because it was given to us by God. We have direct instructions from God on how to behave here in the land. You know, it says if the people, if the Jews, they sin, the land will spit us out. So it's a moral responsibility as well. And I think that all the issues that affect the Jewish nation as a whole, they start here, you know? So we have every type of Jew here. We have every type of issue here. The issues here are hyper sensationalized. They're streamed all across the world. Every time something goes wrong here, we had a story today with a soldier doing misappropriate behavior with something in Lebanon, and it went crazy. So what's our job? Our job is to come here and say, hey, hang on. Things look different from where we're sitting, you know, and we're going to bring you our perspectives, and we're going to get into the nuance, and we're going to explain to you that as Jews, we do have a moral responsibility to look at everything through a Torah lens and see how we can be inspired and inspire others.
And we have to be a light unto the nations. That is our job.
That is it. Yeah,
and
sure.
we can't hold back. We have to tell the truth.
We're not going to hold back here.
We have to, no matter where, you know, let the chips fall where they may, but we have to be honest about ourselves and our role in this world and what God wants from us. And if the world likes it, great. If they don't, let them take it up with God. We have a mission, and we need to do our work here, and our work is not done yet.
Tell us about your show.
My show? I don't have a show.
You are the show.
You are the moral edge.
I don't have a show. I don't know. I'm a little behind the scenes. I don't know if I'm going to have a show. If I did, it would probably be taking the news happening every day and kind of giving a deeper side to it, what's really going on spiritually, what's going on behind the news. I'm a news guy. I mean, I run a news site, so I'm dealing with the news all day, but I'm more intrigued about what's really behind it. I don't necessarily mean political analysis. I mean a little bit spiritual analysis, kind of tap into what we think, how the strings are being pulled. So that's kind of my dream. We'll see if we'll be able to work that in. Whether I'll have a show or not, I don't know. But I just enjoy so much watching you guys. And this show will probably develop. We want it to be a platform for others to join, and anyone that can get in front of a camera and bring interesting guests and talk about real issues, moral issues, they're welcome to join.
But you have to move here first.
Well, oh, yeah, well.
That goes without saying.
Absolutely. Sorry about that. You got to move here first. Just like I tell my kids, you want money for a house? It's only in Israel. You want to get paid by Moral Edge? You got to at least live here. Anyway.
I'm gonna. Yeah, I'll talk about my show in a second, but I feel like I have to say this on behalf of all of us. Is that, as you just said a second ago, you don't have a specific show, but this would not be possible without you. So just behalf of myself and obviously everybody, Nisim who's not here.
We're gonna cut this out.
You're gonna cut. Don't cut this out. No, like you really deserve a lot. So just thank you for that. But I guess the question was just my show and how I got into it. But for me, I've been listening to podcasts in the Jewish world for years, and the biggest thing that I didn't enjoy was listening to a guest that's brought onto a show and then having the host interrupt the guest all the time. Because I'm clicking on the show because I want to hear about the guest. I want to hear your story and like ask your questions and then let it flow. So for me, I found a passion in a certain aspect of hosting, but then also storytelling, and obviously similar a little bit to what Khan was doing.
No, but I interrupt the entire time.
You're awesome, and you're
Take
to
it.
your
Take it or
own
leave it.
show. No, I'm telling people that if they want to plug to listen to it. For me, my thing is I want to bring in people into my show that have done phenomenal things in their life, whether they founded an organization, been a professional athlete, whether they've moved to Israel recently, or just anything. There's so much diversity in this country that I realized from being here for a few years, and I want to showcase that to the world. And I want to do it in a way where I bring in a guest and you feel that, you know what, you're clicking on the show because you want to learn about the guest. Obviously, the show is called The Proctor Effect, and that's my name. But you really won't know that much about me and my life from listening to the show because I want it to be about the people that I bring in.
You will know about his sweater wardrobe. There's a lot of sweaters.
I need to work on it. If you pay attention on some of my episodes, I wear whatever.
The same sweater?
Sometimes.
well-
Whatever. I'm working on it. Whatever. Shout out to my wife. We'll up the wardrobe. But that's really it. I want people to click on it and say, I want to know more about these people that chose to live specifically in Israel. And that was the one last point I wanted to say is that there's so many podcasts within the Jewish world that highlight Jews from everywhere, which is awesome and phenomenal. But I think what's so special is I want it to be only people that are here. If you live here and you've done something special in your life, let's showcase that to the world.
Everybody that's living here has done something special. Just to be
That's
a little
true.
corny, but
Yeah.
it's
That's
true.
true.
It really
No,
is
it's
true. Everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. And we're going to find these people. We're going to get these stories out
No,
there.
we already have. I mean, we have some great stuff coming out. I'm
We
super
do.
excited.
We've been recording for a while. And we're going to release.
Controversial and just real
Oh, yeah.
juicy.
And
Good
edgy. It's
stuff.
also called Moral Edge because some of the content will be a little bit edgy, a little bit controversial, and that's okay.
Very
But we
Jewish.
Whenever you
Speak
see her or
the
me on the
truth.
thumbnail,
Very
make it
Jewish.
edgier. I have an efficiency idea, Michael. Chanala can interview guests first, and then they can go into Avi's show.
What,
And
when
also
they,
the real-
so
Yeah,
they
yeah,
can
so they can
finish
learn.
their
Yeah,
thoughts.
yeah, so they can
Got
finish
it.
their
Meaning they're really brought in so
Got
that
it.
you could click on the episode to
Yeah.
listen to them.
You get a
but
good
listen to
top
them.
cut, back
Yeah,
cop.
it's the preview, yeah. Jen, how about you?
Stay tuned for our
Jen
episode.
doesn't even
by the
know
way.
what she's doing here. Jen's confused. What am I doing
The
here?
odd man out here. Yeah, not that. Because I never listened to podcasts before, and I don't like talking so much on a mic. But I've been thrust into
The spotlight.
my entire life has completely changed from being beyond private and staying pretty much in my own home, barely leaving Ramat Beit Shemesh, and now leaving Israel to go speak. So I have met some beyond unbelievable people through this process of the last 2.5 years. And I've gotten to know them, like these real examples and role models in the Jewish female world that I feel so blessed to have met. And so on Jenuine Voices, it's really going to be about bringing them in and hearing what life is really like and how did they become these role models and what are we supposed to learn from them and that they're real human beings. And so it's just some conversations and to learn from them and to glean from them and hopefully be inspired and do from them. So
Are men allowed to watch?
they can watch.
Just don't comment. We don't want your opinions.
If you comment, I might not continue.
I wanted to say, I met Jen. We lived in the same parking lot, and Jen is
Parking lot? Well, maybe you
same
should
kind-
upgrade to an apartment. I mean, it's not that
the
rough
same
here. Come
kinda,
on.
yeah,
We're a little
the same
homeless
kind of,
together.
yeah. So, and Jen was always she gives exercise classes and fitness and marathons and so on, and I learned so much from her in that area. And I remember where I was when I heard about Binyamin. We were actually doing a kumzitz for moms of soldiers who were enlisted. So you could only imagine. Everyone just cleared the room. It was Motzei Shabbos when we heard. But I remember at that moment thinking, if anyone is ready for this, it's Jen, because your lifestyle was about doing the hard things and investing in yourself so that you're strong when you need to be. And I think that's what you're saying about everyone's story. So your life might seem kind of ordinary. Oh, I'm a fitness teacher, but look how the choices you make and the way you inspire other people is so deeply connected now. So nobody's story is ordinary. Everybody has, everything leads up to their purpose for a reason. We're gonna talk about their purpose.
You have to be a little crazy to move here. So everybody has. If you're American, like what are
Or
you doing
someone
here?
dragged you kicking
What are
and
you doing
screaming.
here? What?
Or someone dragged you kicking
Yeah,
and
like
screaming.
yeah. So it's fun, right? Isn't it fun?
It's a blast.
We have a great time. Really.
All right.
Do
Well,
you have
that,
to really be crazy to live here?
Well,
I'm still trying to.
It'll make you crazy to live
crazy.
here.
I'm
If you
crazy.
come sane, you might become crazy. No, I don't know. I don't agree with that either. I don't think it's crazy. I think it's you need a sense of adventure because you're entering into
You have
something
to
new.
be bold. It's true. You have to be prepared that it's not
Okay, so
going to
I'm in
be so
bold.
convenient.
There you go.
It's
Right,
not going to
right.
be so easy, but I don't think crazy. I think idealistic and
Definitely idealistic.
Motivated. It's like the Chabad Shluchim who end up in these foreign countries. They go and would you say crazy? No, but they're crazy about the Rebbe. We're crazy about
crazy
Israel.
about Israel.
Yeah.
Great, yeah,
There you go.
that's what I meant actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you
glad
for
that's clear.
thank you for the clarification.
thank you for the clarity. Thank you, everyone, for coming to the first installment of Schmooze Control. Everyone who's watching, we need you to do something very important. We need you to go to moraledge.com, check out the content, sign up, go to our YouTube page, click on all the videos, like them, comment, let us know what you want. Kvetch in the comments. We want to hear what you want so we can respond to what you're looking for. We're going to be pumping out amazing content, amazing podcasts, premium content, everything you could ever dream of.
And tell your friends.
And tell your friends.
Yes.
Moral Edge, Zorba, we're out.